We're live.
We are. Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Actually, it is almost 9 p.m.
You're a
for
dick.
us.
You're a
Whatever time you're listening, good morning.
Oh,
Buenos
God.
dias. Or buenos noches.
Puta.
No.
Puta. Should I?
No. That's a mean one. We don't say that.
No.
Okay.
No.
Episode 2.
Yeah. So, I don't think we're gonna really go into this one with a topic, honestly. Because, like, there's just been so much happening, and I'm taking my glasses off for this one. Life is
Fold the glasses, put them to the side.
Yeah. Life is insane as of recent.
Yeah, no, I think I think the vibe is just kind of talk about,
Something is in retrograde, is what I think.
It is, actually, Mercury.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It was Mercury, and then there's also like that new super moon that was also a blue moon.
Oh, the giant moon.
Yeah, it was great.
I know what you're talking about.
I
saw that
for all the spiritual people, you know. But
if you know, you know.
Scientifically, it's just an astrological event that happens.
It happens like 17 times a year, though, right?
No, it happens. It does happen more often than most events, but it happens like every like 10 or so years, or maybe a little longer. Like the next one is in, I think, 2037.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, so
it's like a new giant moon?
So it's going to be, a new blue moon, I think. It's going to be a while.
There's a blue moon?
It was a blue moon and a super moon and a full moon all at once.
Did I miss it?
Maybe.
No.
I guess so.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sad.
No, yeah, actually.
Why didn't you tell me?
Okay, I'll update you. I didn't know you wanted to be updated on those events. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That is like the coolest thing I've ever heard.
No, yeah, I did my little thing. I got my little jar, did my intentions, got my cinnamon, my herbs, did my little ritualistic
I need to get back
thing.
into that. I really fell off like the Wiccan. You know, at my college, we had to do this thing where it was like, stand up if you're blank religion, like stand up if you're Jewish, stand up if you're Buddhist, like shit like that. And one of them was stand up if you're Wiccan. Not a single person.
I would have been like
in the arena.
Hi.
I swear.
Because the thing is, like, I don't really identify with like anything specifically.
Are you agnostic? Is that?
Well, I'm just a very spiritual person. When I say God, I just it's whatever higher power there is that like created everything. Whatever that is. That's not. I don't put too much attention or effort towards it, but like, I just I'm grateful and believe in those powers above, whatever they may be, and I just call that God. And then I also appreciate Gaia, which is just the earth.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like I'm not in a good place in my life yet to decide religion. Like, I feel like it's just too early in my life. And also, like, whenever I think of God, I don't think of, like Jesus or, like, like a higher power, like the traditional, like, Christian God. Like, I think of, like, what God is to me. Like, what does that mean to me? Like, to me, that means, like, just this harmony of, like, all things in the universe and, like all the higher divine energy that exists.
Right,
and, like, spirits.
No, I agree.
And, like,
every time, like, we talk about that kind of thing, people are always like, oh, you're getting so, like, into it, like, with your hippie, like, woo-woo stuff. And, like, you can think that. Like, you're completely entitled to your own opinion.
Course.
But, like, people have, like, the misconception that we, like, just believe in, like, magic, like, random magic that comes out of nowhere. Like, we write something on a piece of paper, we wish it to happen, and it just happens. Like, it's understanding that everything in the earth, like you said, is in harmony and, like, has balance.
Mm-hmm.
And that means there's going to be, like, a fluctuation of, like, good and bad things, and, like, you need to be putting in effort for something to come your way. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm so glad you said that. I was at work by myself the other day, and, like, I was just thinking of, like, a situation in my life with a friend as of recent, and I was, like, thinking, like if do you know what the law of conservation of energy is?
No.
Like,
familiarize me.
Energy is neither created nor destroyed.
Yeah, I do know that. I didn't know that was the term, but yeah.
So, like I'm very scientific, but I also believe in, like, like, higher energy, and I obviously need to, like, I'm obviously going to be continuously researching that, and I'm not the most informed about it, but I do believe in something above us, something in a different, plane. All to say, I was sitting there and I was like, like, by the law of conservation of energy, like, something bad had to happen or something had to be taken away for something good to take its place.
Yeah, that's...
in my life. You know what I mean?
It's, like, growth in a way.
Yeah, and it's, like, if you look at it like that, that really helped me, like, get over the situation. Because, like, whenever you, like, get rid of negative energy in your life and you let good move in, because something has to fill its place, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and people don't really, like, every time I say stuff like energy, and I use words like that, and, like, terminology like that, and, like, the universe, and, like, Gaia, I get, that's, like, a very spiritual.
No, but isn't that just a mythological name for, like, Earth?
I was gonna say, it's just another term for Earth, but
that, if you said Earth, people would agree with you.
Right.
And like, you're just using a different term, that's what it, like, makes
people really, like, just shut their mind up to the fact of it all, because they're like, oh, these, like, hippies, like, this weird, like, spiritual stuff, but, like, when I talk about energy and stuff, energy is in and is everything. We are made up of energy, like, the things that we own are made up of energy. Everything is made up of energy of some kind, like you said, can't be created nor destroyed.
And it all contains a certain type of energy, like, that's.
And the energy that people have is so powerful, and they don't understand it, which is why, like, I'm always talking about, like, it's such a joke now, but, like, mindfulness and, like, being super self-aware and, like, really listening to yourself and your intuition on, like, what you really want to do and what you don't want to do, and listen to your body and your mind, because energy isn't everything, and things that make you feel some kind of way make you feel that way for a reason, and you need to listen to that.
Intuition is very, so, like, it's just overlooked. It's so overlooked. And I think, like, intuition is something I really overlooked for a long time. But, like, now, like, well, I just started college. Actually, I didn't start classes yet. I start classes on Monday. But, like, I've been going to a bunch of, like, welcome week shit. And, like, there's, like, orientations and stuff. But I just walked into this room. And, like, my gut told me to go to, like, this one girl. Yeah. And, like, you just have to follow that sometimes. It's, like, and I ended up, like, you know, having a great conversation with her about, like, where she's from. And
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, it's hard to get out there, seriously. Like, I'm going to a very big school with a lot of people. And they're all from all over the world. It's, like, 120 countries, 6 continents. Like, it's insane. It's just, like, it's such a melting pot. And you feel like an ant. You know what I mean? Like, in this huge area. And you feel...
Can I give you a piece of advice?
Go ahead.
Even though I haven't been to college yet, especially one such as extravagant as the one you're going to, but I know big crowds of people, and I know diversity all clumped together in big groups, and it's scary and it's intimidating, but don't let it overwhelm you too much. I know that's easier said than done, but, like, realize that truly it is what you make it. You can choose who to interact with, what to put your energy towards. Like, realize that most of the thoughts are just anxiety. And, like, anxiety can be a good and a bad thing, but realize that
you have to observe
certain thoughts you need to take action with, and some you just need to shoo off and be like, okay, that generated, now let's, like...
Shooing off. It's almost like you recognize that as, like, a mental event. That's, like...
Right.
Like, I saw that term somewhere, and I can't remember where, but it was, like, if you just view, like, anxious thoughts and, like, you know... procrastination, etc. Like, all the things that happen, like, negatively in your brain whenever that inner voice is just talking to you, if you view it as a mental event, which is, like, you know, like, the connotation of a mental event being, like, very neutral and very, like, demure.
I'd say, like, I don't know, like, it's a part of the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, like, everybody gets those thoughts. It's just, like, you have to recognize it as not, like, something final. Like, your first thought...
don't choose to put energy towards, like, the most negative thought and, like, choose to believe that one.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, like, you should consider lots of different perspectives on a single thing. And, like, your brain is bound to go to, like, that first...
enticing thing.
Yeah, like, it's easy to think negatively, you know what I mean? It's very easy, and... It's so easy to think negatively, but, like, if you view it as something very neutral and very
optimistic, if you think of it very optimistically,
like,
it could go however, like, you know, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, like just a mental event, like something that you thought of. It's not true, and it's not, you know, all powerful, and it doesn't mean it doesn't dictate the answer. You know,
like anything that you need to do.
It's just something that happened in your brain.
It is just simply a thought. It can be as complex or simple as you choose
I feel like
to think about it.
That's such an issue, though. Like, my brain definitely has, like, I definitely listen to a lot of those thoughts.
Like, well, then you just have to realize you have to be... This is where it comes down to being, like, self-aware again, like we talked about.
Proactive, for sure.
Yeah. You have to be very proactive, be very self-aware, and take action when you realize you're in a thought that's probably not beneficial for you, or at least, like you said, neutral or optimistic in any way. Realize that, and realize that it's BS, and it's going to make you feel like... And your body's going to have, like, these feelings. Like, you're going to feel a certain way because you're thinking it, and then you're feeling those emotions linked to the thought. Realize that and be like, it's fine, it's like, whatever, it's not real. There's other possibilities too, and then you think about those. Yeah. So you focus on the fact that there's multiple. Don't even just focus on one. Just realize that anything can happen, but you're just going to do your best going into whatever it is.
Yeah, true.
That's all you can really do.
I think also, like, my brain is very coded to, like, have one right answer. And that has fucked me up so much in my life. Like,
see, that's where I think... I agree, actually. And I think we are very different, but in the same way, creatively, because... You're so funny that you said that, actually. I am like in a gray area. Like, you do like try to tend to find one specific answer, and I like the fact that there's multiple, because it gives you not just more to like choose from, but more to think about. Yeah. Because it gives you more of a possibility and more perspective. When you have more perspective on something, I feel like you can make a better decision because you have a better understanding. Like, you have a better grasp of it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, yeah.
It is hard not to put yourself in a one-track mindset for something, though. Especially when you're trying to be productive on something.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. That's why I do it, like...
It's hard.
Like, being... Like, in high school, like, I was, like, such a try-hard and, like, valedictorian and... class speaker and
that's valid. Like, you can do those things as long as you're enjoying it and you're not burning out.
I mean, I enjoyed probably 80% of it. 20% of it was just for like college applications, but like a lot of that was just like sometimes I just didn't want to wake up for that shit, or I just didn't want to do it anymore. Right. And it's like soccer, for example, like there were so many times that I just wanted to quit, and it's like my productive brain was like, you have to do this is the only right thing you can do is to finish this out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or, like, whenever I'm, like, doing, like...
Well, I don't necessarily think in that context it's a bad thing, though. Because that's the thing. Like, I have a lot of... That's funny, because I just journaled about this a little bit yesterday. There's a lot of issues I have in certain areas that I'm realizing with, like... I feel like I'm not super disciplined in certain aspects of my life.
I mean, being mindful of that, though, is a challenge in itself, like to recognize that you aren't doing the best you could.
Yeah, I am very grateful to be able to be that
mindful.
Yeah, to be just be so mindful and self-aware in that aspect of my life and that sense of myself. But it's such a killer at times because like then I don't know. You know me. I am so like
you're in your head.
I'm so deep rooted in thought and emotion that like I battle between both of them. Yeah. So like
it's a tug of war.
Yeah, I'm really navigating per situation what's needed most, like more of thinking it through or using my emotions to lead. And I mean, think that's very
sometimes
important.
A combination of both is that's typically what I honestly like whenever I encounter something like that's troubling or like with a friend or something, like I go for like a middle approach. Yeah. Like I'm not too deep rooted in like logic.
I'm talking about when it comes to like me versus me.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm definitely very deep-rooted in, like, self-thought. And, like, I feel like it's taken me a long time to honestly admit that because it's, like, how do you know if you think more than, like, the average person?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean? Everyone does overthink to a degree, but it's what you choose to do with the thoughts and how you choose to interact with them that is important, I think. Especially from, like, a psychological standpoint, because, like I said, if you can understand and be aware enough and mindful enough of the fact that some of those thoughts are just generated and, like, they're just pop-up thoughts, you're aware of them, but you don't need to attach yourself to them anyway.
I honestly think I'm actually going to toot my own horn.
Okay.
Because I think I've gotten way better at, just observing my thoughts, because...
Proud of you. Love you.
A lot of the time, like... So I have a girlfriend, Selena, as we know.
Love her.
A lot of the time, like, whenever we would, get in fights or, like, break up or, like, take a break or something, like, it was because my mind would stay stuck on a thought or, like, stay stuck on, like, an imperfection of her. Because I'm a perfectionist to the utmost degree. If something's, like, wrong about one thing,
OCD.
it needs to go out the trash, like out the door. You know what I mean? And it's like that's the beauty of a relationship is that it's not perfect. It's a constant learning game, and it's like.
And we were talking about that the one day at work. Like you and like, it's hard for you to like accept that like you can like work through something slowly or like with somebody else.
Yeah, it's hard for me to accept.
It doesn't need to be so like
immediate. Yeah, like I feel like it's so hard for me to accept that like relationships are a work in progress and like nothing is going to be perfect without a lot of time and a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I'm just so deep rooted in perfectionism that I want the perfect relationship now.
You just gotta listen, even though my track record is very interesting. My relationships with people in general are very good, and they're probably connections with people are probably my most well-known topic in psychology, coming in second with me continuing to study as best I can. But you really just have to feel what you feel. Don't worry about things too much until like there's an issue. Deal with it then. Realize it's you and them against a problem, not you against them. That's not the problem. Like, just feel things and don't worry too much about how it looks or how she's thinking about something. Like, because you guys will say it. You have that connection and that relationship where you can actually like just talk about things that are hard. And you just need to get out. That's where you just have to realize that. Again, be mindful. Get out of your own head and realize that like it doesn't need to look or be a certain way. You guys just like each other, and that's how it started. Like,
oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. I feel like I'm.
And your relationship's gonna go through so much change, and that's the beauty of every relationship. Is like you know that it's gonna be permanent, or at least, long lasting and committed. So the beauty of it is that you never know what's gonna happen, but you know you're gonna enjoy every bit of it because you're feeling it all. Mm-hmm. So
for sure,
don't worry about it too much.
I don't anymore. Honestly, it was a big thing. Like.
But when you're in a negative headspace, remind yourself of that, because that's the one really big aspect of your life that I would arguably say is another part of your life is, like, her as a person.
Yeah, I'd say, like,
if that
I feel like,
this
is another thing, is that, like, I feel like for a long time, I didn't want to be that person with, like, that was, like, their girlfriend is their everything. Like, I didn't let Selena be, like, a really big part of my life, and it's, like, that is so restrictive, you know what I mean? Like, I would consider her, like...
And you just gotta learn the balance. And you gotta realize that it doesn't matter how other people view it. Like, and it's fine if someone is your everything, because that doesn't mean that everyone else isn't nothing. Yeah. This is a whole universe of people.
That is oh my god.
Like, you are all in my galaxy. Like, but everyone has their own values. And by the time I do have a partner, especially when I'm older, they're gonna be first, because... they are going to be my family. I'm, like, going to have kids with these people. Like, I'm going to be raising children with them.
Also, like, the time and the effort it takes to build a relationship is, like, you don't get that close with anybody else.
You know what I mean? So special because, like, there's someone that you put so much into and, like, really are vulnerable with in a way that you probably aren't with your parents and with most of your friends.
I was just about to say that. There's, like, so many relationships in my life. And
they're all different. They all play their role.
They all are extremely different. Like, you know, like...
They're family, all sacred, too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, family, you don't tell, like, certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, family, you obviously go to whenever you need, like, an emotional support. And it's, like, someone who understands your whole life. Like, someone who you just met or you just started dating or, you know, you became friends, like, 5 years ago. Like, they can get a grasp, but explaining will never, you know, overdo living with it. You know what I mean? Like, living with them. And, like, that familial, like, experience is something you can only get with, like, a person in your family.
Dude, right. And can I veer off of this and go on a little rant?
Go ahead.
So, I love you and Selena so bad.
Yeah.
But same relationships makes me cringe sometimes.
What? Us?
Just relationships, period. Like, and it's not because I'm, like, jealous, but, like, I'm like, bro, that is, I can't. And it is probably truly just because I don't have it, and not in, like, a sense of, like, ugh. It's just like, I don't know. It's weird. It makes me... It's so funny.
Well, there's a deeper meaning to that. Like, we should explore it.
And I'm getting to it.
Okay, go ahead, girl.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm, like, kicking candles under my table.
No, it's fine. Adds ambiance, you know?
I mean, okay, actually, let me just say one thing before you start this. Don't lose it. We got, for this episode and all the ones after it, we got these, like boxes with, like, foam.
Yeah, our mics have, like...
on it.
I don't remember the technical term
Phone box.
But there's like
soundproof.
Yeah, it's like a soundproofed box with like the phone on the inside to insulate it so you guys can hear us better.
Yeah, and so there's no.
They're just so bulky.
They're huge, and it's like taking up my whole face. But I really hope it sounds good. I think it's going to, so I hope you guys enjoy this audio better. The audio.
You guys can probably hear us fine.
Last episode sounded kind of boof pack, so.
That's okay. First, if you don't improve from the beginning of whatever you're starting, then are you ever actually making progress?
Right. Like this was our upgrade. I want to get better at editing these, honestly, because
we will.
I want to put some intro music and shit. I tried to do it, but
I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, we'll figure it out. We'll think about that. Yeah, we'll figure it out though. Everything comes in time, and it's better to go through this process gradually because, like I said, I just enjoy the evolution of like things that I start or like beautiful relationships or like little tasks. Like it's just so fun to see how they end up unfolding.
I get what you mean, boo.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hope you didn't lose it.
I didn't. So to veer off of like,
put my glasses.
Well, our topic of the relationships and like how it's so different from every other relationship as like the other ones all play their role. Yeah. But I feel like with a partner, it's so much different because, like, truly they get to know you in a way that no one else really does. Like, because they end up living with you. And, like, even your, like, siblings or whatever, if you have any, like, that's close and all. Like, no matter how close you are to someone, like, dude, you get close to people. And I recently have been reflecting upon that period of my life because I have such an interesting, like, track record and, like, thought process with, relationships and, like, just romance in general, because I'm a very sentimental and like emotional person, and I try to regulate it the best I can, and I think I do pretty well. And like my only issue, like I am so fine with being on my own, and like I have fun with my friends, I enjoy my life, I enjoy doing things for myself, but like every once in a while there's always this like decreping
yearning
awful thought that creeps in, and it's how I don't have anybody. And I may not ever have anybody. And
that is so not true.
And even if it's not true,
I
realize that I have to come to terms with the fact that bothers me. And I am fine on my own, but there's still like that piece of me that like,
humans are meant to experience. There's a reason you have a penis and a man has a man and a woman has a vagina.
I know, but like
humans are meant to experience like
the whole concept though
sex.
And thought process of like having like a soulmate. I believe in like I think.
Do you believe in it though?
It's hard to say, honestly. Yes and no. I do and I don't. I go back and forth because logically, like you said, like we're humans, we were like built for these urges, but like for me to have like the urge to like share my life and experience so much and like grow with someone as a person and our relationship grow to the point where we like have a family and stuff, it's just so. I don't know why it's such a need. I think I know where it stems from, like, emotionally, and, like, that's a whole other thing. But, like, I have to come to terms with the fact that I could never have someone, and that's okay. Not that I won't find someone, but...
But if you didn't, it would be
fine.
You would live
and I think
day.
I would be fine. I do enjoy my experiences and stuff. But, like, I don't know.
Love is fun, though.
To me.
Like, love is...
That's what I'm saying. It is better than to love... and to lost than I've never loved at all. And I love that quote because I believe it. Because I'm an emotional person. And it's better to like go through things and change and feel all the feelings than like
and be upset
have
and
nothing
be angry.
happening. You're not living that way. So I like love going through these things, but it's just such a weird thought process, and it's something I've realized that like I have never fully like been able to reconcile with myself. But I mean
you may never though. Like some people have like these very deep rooted
I probably won't
fears.
Fully get rid of it until I find that person. And that's fine. Because, like, I am fine fully. Like, it gets me sometimes, but not to the point, where it's, like, debilitating.
Yeah, I get you.
But
do you believe in, like, karmic connections and, like, soul flames and soul ties and...
I don't know what a karmic connection is.
Let's look it up. Let me grab my phone.
I do believe in, like, certain soulmates and soul ties. Like, I do believe that me, Ian, and Cam were meant to, like... be friends and meet, and like that was definitely like destiny in my eyes. Like the connection we have is like so. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I had a little burp. It is so undeniable and so strong. I can't describe it. And everyone like knows. Like everyone knows the three of us as like the group. Yeah. And then Tatum's a whole other story. Like, I have a connection to her in a sibling way that, like, I don't even have with my real biological siblings. That's very strange.
Yeah.
But, you know, whatever. What is a karmic connection?
A karmic relationship, is a connection between people such as friends, family, or romantic partners that some say is volatile and dissonant. People who believe in karmic relationships may describe them as passionate, turbulent, and full of highs and lows. They may also feel a strong connection with the other person and may be codependent or addicted to their presence.
I don't know if people are just trying to get too spiritual or if I'm just a hater. But I feel like that's just
a
bad relationship. Like, yeah, that's learning.
I don't even think that's a bad relationship. I think that's a relationship.
Well, if you're saying a lot of turbulence and highs and lows.
Okay.
If you have highs and lows, that is part of a normal relationship.
I was going to say,
but if you're going to describe it with, like, turbulence, that's why I asked what karmic was, because karma can go two ways. But, like, yeah, that's pretty much just a relationship, or, like, the verge of, like, a rocky relationship. That's nothing that's, like, I don't think that's, like, karmic.
Well, I think, like, especially at this age, I just think all relationships are rocky.
Yeah,
because, like,
you're learning how to be in one.
To be with somebody else and respect their feelings and respect their emotions.
And realize they're another person.
More, if not, like the same, if not more, as you respect your own, is, like, a labor of love, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's very... And sometimes you just don't even know how to do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, you have to teach yourself how to love. Yeah, because you think,
think there's this, like, certain way to do it, but really it is just different depending on who you are and who you're with. Yeah. Like, you really just, that's why, like, it is so cliche, but you really just have to be yourself. That's why I don't have, like, I'm also young. Like, I did just turn 20. So I have, like, so much life, and I'm gonna travel around the U.S. Happy birthday, Devin! Thank you! Happy birthday, Devin! But, like, even my friends have told me, like, Bella... The other Bella was like, you're going to travel so many places, like, you're going to meet people. Like, you're going to find someone. And it's not that I don't believe it, but I don't know. I just hate that it comes and, like, over my head sometimes.
You're manifesting not finding someone whenever you say that out loud, though.
I know. That's why I haven't said it in a while, and I only say it for the purpose of describing the feeling, though. Yeah. So, like, but, I do believe there's someone out there. I just hate that, like,
and the person that you be in a relationship with does not have to be your soul flame. Like, that doesn't have to be, like, your soul tie.
No, like, it can just, it just happens. Like, you know. You'll just know.
Relationships are, like, many of them happen to foster a better relationship with a new person. Yeah. And I think, like, love is very, not fleeting, but I think that, like...
futile.
Yeah, people in your life are futile and fleeting, and, you know, sometimes relationships aren't meant to last.
And I'm very aware
forever.
Of that. I like that, actually. That's why I like traveling and I like talking to new people, because
I was watching an interview with SZA, and she said, like, I don't think anyone's, like, somebody asked her how she feels about, like, monogamy, and she said, like, I don't think anyone is supposed to love, you know, one singular person for an extended period of time. Like, I think we were born and we live to experience different forms of love from different people, from different backgrounds, with different forms of love, like, different, like, love languages, you know what I mean?
That's why I think exploring, like, what a relationship can be for you, like, through multiple stages of your life, which is why, like, I don't want it too late in life, but, like, I would like to, like, figure it out by, like, 25, but, like, when you're in, I know, when you're in high school,
bars you're gonna go to,
bro, when you're in high school and stuff, like, all that, like, you're really navigating it, and, like, I get that, because then, like she said, there's also, like, your friends and your family, and, like I said, there's, like, siblings, and, like, just there's so many connections that you can have that they're, like, just so indescribable and, like, meaningful. Mm-hmm. I've made them. I've traveled to so many places already and met so many amazing people that I can tell are going to be in my life for a long time. And it doesn't matter how often we talk, like, it's just the connection and the way you reconnect, and, like, the way you just interact with one another and love one another. It's just a beautiful thing. I love it so much.
I would also, like, on that topic, like, this podcast was started, like, a month after you got back?
Yeah.
So, Devon was in the AmeriCorps, and a month after he got back, you know, we reconnect. We definitely lost track of each other while you were in the AmeriCorps, because it's, like, you're in a different state, I'm busy with school. It's
my, like, real adult life is, like, it was, like, beginning at that point, like, last year.
And it's stressful as fuck to, like, ease into that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a month later, like, here we are. And it's like,
after 6 months of being away, bro.
Like, that's insane. You met a whole different group of people. Like, you went to, like, what, 3 states?
I went to 5.
5 states. 5 different states. You come back, and, like, this connection is still thriving, and we're here sitting and talking for hours. Like,
yeah, after I met you one day in your driveway that is now my driveway, like, what?
It was 10 years ago, probably.
That's insane.
What, because you're 20? How old are you? 11?
Oh my god, like a decade.
Yeah, it's almost been a decade.
A decade of friendship.
Holy.
Me and Tatum are almost up on that point, too. I think we are past... Dude,
it's
something
so
I've reflected upon this year was just how much I love all of you, truly, and how much my life has changed. And as I've said multiple times, but I can't get it out of my head because it's I love this creative endeavor of my life. Like, this video I'm making that involves change and, like, all these different phases and things that have happened to me, like, over this amount of time, I just love it so much. I love being able to feel everything that I do and, like, being able to just evolve in so many ways. And now I came back 6 months later and, like, so much has changed for me and, like, everyone around me, and so much is already about to change for me and everyone again. And it's like, but I'm not unhappy with it, like, at all. I am kind of at peace with it because, like, I don't know, I'm so tired of, like,
fighting the feeling.
Not even just fighting the feeling, trying to, like, organize things all the time. I forgot, while I was in America, I did, like, I loved it and it was amazing and I would not trade it for the world. It has made me, like, such an amazing person.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, taught me so much. But there were times, like, I really did lose myself. But it taught me good things, like, hitting those lows that I hit there.
Well, yeah, it teaches you how to, bounce back, you know?
Yeah, it really made me realign myself with my life and with my values and my purpose and coming back and doing this and making my videos again and working in the career I am and choosing to, like, go to school soon. Like, everything is just really, everything's been working out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, like, I do have faith in the universe and in the world because I put that effort in, and as much as I feel, as much as I yearn for, like, this partner and everything, like, truly I am at peace with it all. It's just, one of the things I lost touch with in America was, like, regulating myself, like, emotionally, and so I forgot that, like, it's okay to, like, really let myself express sadness and be sad sometimes, because I was always around people. I was never alone.
Yeah,
I always lived with multiple people.
That's such an interesting scenario to, like, build up so much tension and then, like, not even be able to show it, like.
And it sucked because when I was younger, like, not on a real serious note for real, but, like, as, like, a trauma thing emotionally, like, I would, you know, conceal my emotions because I didn't want to express them in public or whatever if it, like, flared up while I was around people. And so my body went back to that and, like, it was weird. It was a whole time.
Reverting is a thing. Like, reverting is a real coping mechanism.
And it's dangerous. Like, it catches you off guard. Like, you have to really be...
You're like, why am I acting like this? And then
again,
like,
you need to be self-aware of your emotions and how you're reacting to things and how you're taking in certain pieces of information. Like, because, like, shit affects you more than you think sometimes.
Something I've been thinking of so much recently is that, like, most of the things I see and interpret and think about on, like, you know, that I view as just mental events that are, like, you know, a part of, like, my daily thought process, like, they, you know, however fleeting they are, they're, like, absorbed into my subconscious, and they affect my thoughts and feelings, and I feel, as of recent, I feel, like, very out of control with that, and not in a bad way. It's not...
It's just like you're really letting it... It's like slipping through your fingers a little bit.
Yeah, it's like you honestly... Like, to know that there's things I am not aware of and things I most likely will never be aware of affecting the way I view the world and shape my opinions and the way I treat my relationships, that
it's scary.
Is so scary. The fact that I don't have control over how I manage my life sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, subconscious is, like, about 80% of your brain. Like, it's a big,
that's your mind is constantly generating new thoughts
in the background, and it's like most of your brain is not using conscious thought all the time. Yeah, like
when you're on autopilot, it's even worse.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like to know that I have zero control over it is definitely, like,
that's why I'm just
scary.
Like as aware of how I feel at all times as I can be, because, like, as, like, OCD as that sounds, it's really not, like, that serious. Like, it's just, like, for me now, after practicing it for so long, it is, like, a built-in nature, because I used to have anxiety attacks a lot sometimes, and I would hide them really well. Like, no one would know, but, like, it was so bad sometimes. But I've, like, been able to really learn from that and be very aware of how I'm feeling and how my body's reacting to, like, certain things. Like, anxiety usually starts with my body first before it, like, settles into my full feelings.
Yeah, can we talk about it? So...
Your nervous system is hit.
Were you diagnosed with anxiety?
No, but, like, and here's the thing.
It's obvious. I'm not, discrediting you. I'm just asking.
No, it's fine. Like, I could not have it completely, but I'm just saying, like, the way I have felt and the symptoms I've had, and as much as I've studied things, I'm just saying I have had episodes of some kind, at least before, where I have gotten so stressed out that I have hyperventilated and, like, had thoughts racing, had to, like, I couldn't even, like, stand up. I had to sit for a minute. Like, it's bad. Like, but it's fine. I got through that. Anxiety is, like, a really hard thing sometimes for me still. And coming from me, for people that I know, that's surprising because I'm, like, a very outgoing person. And I talk to a lot of people, but, like...
Yeah. I mean, anxiety shows itself in different forms, though. Like, relationship anxiety is a thing. Like,
especially with, like, relationships and stuff. And when it comes to serious stuff sometimes, especially with, like, new people or, like, being vulnerable, even with people I do know, like, it can be intimidating because, like, I don't know. I'm someone who's very, independent when it comes to, like, my own emotions and holding myself up. I go to people when I really, really need to. I should more often, and I'm working on that, but, like, I don't really tell anything to anyone. I'll get emotional with people and, like, really work through them with stuff, but, like, my real, like, shit that I go through is really, like, I'm really the only one that really knows.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. I don't know. Point is... anxiety, real bad sometimes, and
can we, like,
it starts in your body first.
The reason I ask you, like, if you've been diagnosed is, like, what does anxiety look like for you? Like where does it manifest itself in your body, and how
it's definitely my breathing first.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell because, like, I start to either breathe really fast or I'll slow it down a lot because I'm, like, concentrating, and I, like, it's usually when it's slowed down, it's more of, like, a, like, shock or, like, fear. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm, like, moving really slow. Like, I'm not, like, nothing is happening around me, really.
Yeah. But, and then there's... Like, at that part in the movie where it just, like, zooms in.
Mm-hmm. And then there's, like, when I start breathing really, like, heavy, kind of. And you can't tell, because, like, you can maybe see in my chest, but, like, I'll, like, my hands will start to sweat, my armpits will start to sweat, and I'll, like, fidget a lot. And, like, in little ways, like, I've managed to the point, like, where you can't tell, like, if I'm in public. Like, that's why I hate going to the mall and stuff. And, like, everyone shits on me because, like, they think I'm just trying to be a hippie and, like, sustainable, which I am, by the way. But, like...
Which I am,
I don't like going to the mall. I don't like going to, like, Target and stuff. Like, it's just... Those environments stress me out. Like, that... Just,
what's, like, stressful about it for you? Like, the hospital lighting?
No. I mean, like, maybe a little bit. But, like, no. Primarily, it's, like, the people, like, and the behavior of, like... going, I need to stop here and look at this, and, like, all the shopping, all the people, like, weaving in between, like, the thought process that, like, I feel like everyone goes through. It's really not that serious, like, in reality, at least for a majority of people.
It's really not that serious.
But, like, it stresses me out so much, like, when I'm shopping with people.
I can see where you're coming from. Like,
yeah, like, I don't know what it is, like, just, and it's not for long. Like, I can handle it. Like, it's not that serious. But if we're there for, like, a long period of time and someone's, like, going on a Target trip and, like...
It's fucking exhausting.
I can't do it, no. My social battery... Exhausting. I'm a very social person. Very social. But my social battery runs out in the sense...
Quick, I think.
That, like, in certain situations, like, and that's one of them. Mm-hmm. I like thrifting and, like, little secondhand or, like, antique shops and stuff because, like, there's not many people there. You can, like, you know, have, like, your tea or your coffee or a little snack, whatever the fuck. Take your time, look at everything, like...
Yeah.
Really, like, just, I don't know.
Whatever the fuck.
I think I'm realizing, honestly, that I like to process things first.
You like to take life very slow, like...
Yeah, and it's kind of underlying. Like, it's not very obvious that I like to do that, but, like, because I'm very fast-paced in the way I like to, like, sporadically go out and do plans or, like, you know, stuff like that, but, like, in the sense of, like, taking my time and really appreciating everything.
Well, like, when you're
like,
leisurely
doing a task.
Things,
yeah.
I think you like to take things slow.
Yeah, I don't like to be rushed in any way, and I don't like to take things slow in an environment like Target.
In an environment like Target?
Yeah.
I'm weak as hell.
That stresses me out. I don't want to be slow there. I want to be quick and efficient. I don't want to be in Target.
I need to get my toilet paper and get my moisturizer and leave.
Take things slow. You're right.
I personally like to take things really fucking fast. Like, seriously, I'm opening my Red Bull. Nobody. It's...
What is that, actually?
It's 9:30 p.m.
Well, we're recording a podcast right now.
Yeah, so I want to stay up and
I also have to edit my video.
Yeah, we can share.
Yeah.
I also have schoolwork to do, so just might as well take a fucking Adderall while we're here.
Might as well pull an all-nighter, actually.
Might as well mix an Addy with a Red Bull and stay up all night.
Don't advise doing drugs or drinking Red Bull. Okay, guys?
Actually, yeah, drinking Red Bull is such, like, a bad habit of mine.
I just took a sip because I need it. I never drink Red Bull. I'm actually fearful of energy drinks. They make me shake. When I used to try them in high school, no, not good.
I know, you never used to drink mine whenever. I would offer.
They're so bad. I would occasionally get a Kickstart if, like, I had
Oh my god, the mango Kickstart, don't even.
So good. The only one I would get.
Yeah.
And only if I couldn't, so like, good. Sleep that night because I had work to do. Because, you know, they bombarded us. Anyway. Well, mine did. Sorry. I had a lot of essays.
You did. I barely had essays. Like, I had one.
I liked it, though, sometimes. Depending on the topic, I fuck up an essay.
I'm minoring in journalism.
I like that. That's why I like making videos. Something about storytelling. Mm-hmm. And, like, being a people watcher and, like, writing down what you observe and, like, the way you're thinking about it and feeling it is, like, such a beautiful thing.
This is journalism to me. Like, making a podcast is journalism.
Yeah, this is absolutely a form of journalism.
Because it's, like, we're writing history.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're documenting
that sounds so
lives.
indie and stupid, but, like...
I mean, but, like, even... In its simplest form, we are documenting a phase in our lives.
And we're documenting a perspective. I think, like, journalism... Well, let's talk about this. Like, what is journalism to you?
Journalism, to me, is mostly, in my mind, associated with, like, any kind of event or anything that would affect history, specifically.
Yeah.
Like, you know...
And that doesn't mean, like...
And it doesn't need to be
World
super
War
formal.
II.
Yeah, like, it could be... But anything that, you know, people will look back on at some point as a part of history, whether it is on one end of the scale or the other, meaning, like, simple or, like, super
huge.
Impactful, like, everyone's going to remember it, like, and dedicate
journalism could be, like, an obituary from a newspaper from 1934, or a journalism could be
anything
this,
from that,
you know what I mean?
To, like, a news article or, like, something that happened recently in the neighborhood, like,
or
anything.
A picture, or a poster,
yeah,
or a wristband, or...
It doesn't need to be a mass historical event to be journalism.
It just... I think journalism is taking human connection and human experience and putting it into art and making it tangible and making it
more digestible,
identifiable, and making it, you know, and publishing it for people to see. It's like etching your...
I feel like it's a more formal way of expressing everything you said, like, through art, because there's, like, poetry and everything, but, like, people view that as more of a, like, like, poetry.
Like, writing.
And, like,
I think journalism is just a big...
Journalism is, like...
cluster of art just publicized and etched into history.
I think it has to do more with, like, the media, too, because, like, that's more, like, whatever media it's being consumed on is how it's going to be, like, seen, or, I guess, portrayed over time, because no matter how it's put out, however the, like, general public, if any, feedback is given, is, like, relayed, is how it's going to be, like, viewed.
Yeah. Well, that's just a medium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like journalism can be a statue. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, that's what that... I mean, that might fall more under art, but...
That definitely is... Like, it's probably more on the cusp. Because that's not as much of a description as it is, like, a visual representation.
Yeah. I mean, you could go on and on about what journalism means to you, but... Yeah. I found myself being really passionate in journalism. Like, I love to create, and I love to... Like, I wish I could put a picture up right now of, like, my wall. I'm staring at it right now. Like,
her room is just very...
art.
It's like a poster board.
It's like it's like Pinterest in real life.
Yeah, it's a giant, like, board of all these different photos and, like, postcards and creative art pieces that you can imagine.
There's, like, wristbands, and there's stickers and posters and...
A skateboard with light bulbs for wheels.
Drawings, yeah.
Polaroid pictures,
things
album
I've gotten
covers.
From my work, Post-it notes. I have my license plate for my old car up there.
You know what? With all this emotional shit we've been talking about, I'm glad we did transition to art, because art is such a multifaceted and widely viewed, like, subject to many people.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I just appreciate the fact that it is that way, because, like, it is so diverse that anyone could call anything art, and it can be as meaningful to you as you want it to be.
Yeah.
And, like, people shit on a lot of, like things that they would deem silly or quote-unquote
stupid.
I
know what you mean. I'm like, okay, that's where, like, I think we might collide in viewpoint, is that, like, I think that I think capitalism has turned art into something a little bit more, like, lenient, you know what I mean? And I think, like, art should still be something very sacred. Like, art should take time and effort.
I think there's different art forms, and I think whatever you're trying to portray the art as should fit whatever, like, niche you're putting it into.
And it should be, like, full of emotion, and it should really, like...
Yeah, no matter what, I think that's one thing that art is, like, stemmed from, is, like...
Yeah.
Like, emotion and feeling of some kind. Like, whether that was an experience or whatever, it's stemming from something you felt.
It should be a chunk of you on a medium. You know what I mean? And it's, like... But now I think, like, we've kind of transitioned into this, like, weird period where, like, 3 blocks of color painted on, like, a white canvas can go for, like, art, like $1,000.
And it really does just depend on your perspective, but, I mean, I don't know.
But those art pieces, I think that is fueled by capitalism and, like, kind of this,
art
like...
to me is something that is, like, so, like, beautiful, beautifully portrayed to the point where, like, you can feel it. Like, you see it or you hear it and you feel something from it. That's art.
One thing,
that shit hits you.
Something that I'm really into as an art form is, like, architecture.
I love... In what way? Like, in like, the way of, like statues or, like, buildings?
No, I love, like Gothic buildings. Like,
okay, honestly,
and, like the Notre Dame building.
I agree.
Whenever that burned down, I thought it was a fucking tragedy. I was heartbroken.
Yes. I do love old Gothic buildings, or, like, even... I really love certain homes in, like, Europe or in the UK.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think their architecture style, depending on where you're at, of course, is, like, very beautiful. And don't even get me started. Everyone, like, raves about Italy, but truly, with, like, all the culture and all the friends I have specifically linked to, like, Italy and Italian culture, like, I love almost everything about Italy. I love their architecture. I love their,
food.
I love their food. I love their certain practices. And I love their dialect. I love their language. Their language is beautifully spoken.
I love that their families have like meals for like 2 hours.
Yeah, and I love when people that are actually of, like, Italian descent or are just, like, straight up, like, full Italian.
They're
like,
so prideful.
Actually are, like, prideful of it and, like, really practice, like, their own culture and, like, respect it and, like, I don't know. It's nice to see people, like, really attached to something so sacred and meaningful to, like, their lineage that they end up caring about as well. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like it really helps you gain a sense of self if you have any kind of, like, culture or background. Because personally, I don't. Yeah. And I found mine. But, like, if you have it, I think it's important to, like, at least learn more about it if you don't know enough. Yeah. And decide if it's something you want to link yourself to, you know?
I get what you're saying. I think that, like, coming into, like, this new age, a lot of America is Italian, like... I feel like Italians are very present, you know what I mean? And, like, I think that it's become almost unpopular to be Italian and be prideful of being Italian. And, like, I'm personally Italian, and I'm not, you know, a raging Italian, but I definitely take pride in that shit. Like, I love spaghetti, and I love fucking pizza. And
I love spaghetti.
Like, I'm sorry, like, my bitches came up with that back in, like, you know, 1500. But, like... But it's almost becoming unpopular to be Italian, and, like, because it's so common. You know what I mean?
Well, here's my...
I don't know how the hell we got on the topic.
I don't know, but listen.
Italians.
Here's my opinion. Well, because we were talking about culture. Here's my opinion on culture. This is just an opinion.
Here we go.
But I think, in the sense of American culture, I don't think there is any. I think American culture is exactly what every other country looks at us as. I think everything they view us as, for the most part, is valid, because depending on how you live, obviously you disagree. I somewhat disagree with what other countries would say about us as a whole, because we have certain things, but...
I mean, our freedom is amazing. And,
yeah, like, in its own way.
It's often taken for granted.
Freedom, yeah, definitely. There's, like, loopholes in certain areas, but, like, you know, that's all depending on character and per situation. But for American culture, period, we really don't have much, because...
We've stolen it.
I was going to say, from everything in history, and this is a topic that we need to talk about specifically and indulge in detail in another episode, like history.
We've done this before, like, on our own. Not even
but if you look back at history, point blank period, factually, we have stolen so much from many different cultures and claimed it as our own, or tried to if we haven't.
And in a way, we've claimed that history as our own by getting rid of some of it as well. Like... You know,
thank God for those cultures and those diverse, like, groups of people that still have that like culture and that original history linked to their lineage, and they're aware and they're taught by like people down their like family line, because I think that is so important. Not one just because, you know, if you learn about history it won't repeat itself, but like my big thing about traveling and everything and why I like to travel is like I like to learn other people's cultures, viewpoints, and respect them and understand them the best I can, even if I don't agree. Because when you respect someone like that, you invite
yourself to be respected, and you gain a sense of like humility in humanity.
Yes.
Like you feel so connected to humanity in the fact that we are the same breed of animal. However, we have these different viewpoints.
Yeah,
but at the same time, we come full circle in the fact that I can accept you for what you are, and you can accept me for what I am.
Exactly. Like,
and it's beautiful. It's like we are all one at the end of the day. Like we all, you know, there's not a certain part of your brain that's different from mine.
Exactly.
And, you know, we may look different, but like we are all the same, and across religion.
Yeah, for the most part, all of our like
our anatomy
systems,
is all the same.
Yeah,
it's 100% the same.
Yeah, it's all default.
You know what I mean?
There's like, just some of us are different in little circumstances, but externally, it doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't.
No, we're all the same human, and that's why I think racism is so fucking stupid.
Bro.
It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like,
as someone who studies psychology and child psychology,
it's mob
and
mentality.
works with children, yes, in a very broad sense, but like it is all top behavior. Like from you being a child, from like 1 to 4, you are gaining and developing at a rapid rate. Like, and you are absorbing and taking in everything that you're seeing and sensing.
A lot of it goes to your subconscious too.
Yeah, that's how you develop as a person. That's how you like learn to speak and learn what speaking is. That's how you learn what everything is. Like, but you gain so much behavioral like things in that time period too. And it's so interesting because it shows how you're exposed to the world through your guardians or caretakers, and how much they're around and how they act versus like if you know, there's many circumstances, but like it really shows how you were brought up, because everything is for the most part a top behavior when it comes to stuff like racism, because you can choose at any point in time to hear someone out and see their point of view and respect them and understand them, even if you don't agree, but you choose not to out of your ego and being like, I don't need to listen to this.
You know, it's not that I don't sympathize. And this may...
No, 100%.
I might get, honestly, like, cancel me if this is wrong, but I kind of sympathize with them because it's like, you don't know any better. And, like, American culture is... American culture does not exist as its own culture. We don't have any...
We just have a bunch of bits and pieces of things we've made up ourselves and other places we've taken certain like aspects of.
American culture is just overwhelming.
It's like a quilted fucking blanket of different varieties.
That's not even what I'm saying. I'm saying like American culture is overwhelming nationalism and overwhelming, like this overwhelming idea that like any other race or any other country is not as good as the U.S. You know what I mean? And is not as good as the white male.
There's a lot of like, there's a lot of pinning one another against each other.
Of course, and that, you know, that's
there's a lot of division, and I don't like that.
Of course, it's like I've always thought this, like a certain amount of division makes a democracy thrive.
100%, because then you get a certain group of people to believe one thing.
Righteousness is what this country is built on. You know what I mean? Righteousness is what freed us from Britain. But like, and you only get that from these breakaway groups. But at the same time, like too much righteousness and too much division between people is kind of where we're at now, where it's like...
And that's the thing. We're so evolved as a species, like as human beings in general, to the point where we made all of this in society. Like, we're gonna go too far. We don't have a limit, because that's our natural urges.
You know that 250 year mark that like all great empires have like fallen on? Like the average lifetime of an empire is 250 years. I think we're at 248.
Yeah, girl, like it's getting there, and it's crazy.
Oh, it's gross.
And the thing is, like...
And you can tell, girl.
Every time I have this conversation with people, they're like, well, you can't just be like, I understand that you're nice, but not everyone works that way, and you can't just be like, not everyone can just be peaceful as in, like, a nation. And I'm like, you really can, though. Like I said, everything is a taught behavior, and it's all choice, and your ego, especially people in power, it is going to, their ego is so inflated. And to a degree, it's not their fault.
That's why I said that, like, I sometimes sympathize with...
No,
I mean, I believe there is truly evil people out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, even, like, with the most evil human beings I can sympathize with, because I really do see the good in everything, and I choose to see the good in everyone. And also,
like, I truly believe in, like, learned behavior, and that, like, all those things that, like, you know, we view as evil has a reasoning and a rhyme behind it, and it's, like... I can't help but sympathize with that, because it's like you are a product of your environment, and that's your environment you sometimes have no control over.
Though, especially in extreme cases, it does not excuse your poor choice of actions and lack of willingness to learn. Because that's why, I think that's why in America division is so easy, because so many people choose to be
complacent.
I was gonna say, for a lack of better words, I'm glad you said that, but I'm still gonna say it. Like, a lot of people are lazy, and they make excuses to choose not to be aware of a lot of things in their life. And I'm not gonna get into too much detail about that, because it can go many ways and for many things. But to be honest, we all just need to be a bit more willing to put more effort into things we care about, and to really learn, like I said, about one another, and respect and hear one another and hear each other out. Because then, even as a community, no matter how big or small, we'd be able to get together and, like, enjoy each other's company or work together when it's needed.
We'd be able to find that common ground again.
Yeah.
We've really lost that,
They choose, people in power, especially in politics, choose not to mention that middle ground much, or that common ground much.
And it's like...
Until it's, like, an extreme circumstance.
Yeah.
For them to win.
I think that's what's going to happen next election, is because you're seeing so many people that are like, well, I don't like this side, and I don't like this side, so I'm just not going to vote this year, or I'm going to vote, you know, an independent party, or like a middle party.
Right.
And you're going to see a lot of people kind of shifting to this like a lot of politicians, I'm saying, people in power, like, pandering to this independent viewpoint so that they can, like, scoop up. And you're going to see a lot of people, or a lot of politicians in power, kind of reverse on, like, statements they've said or policies they've said before, because they're going to realize that doesn't fit the narrative. You know what I mean?
And that's where I think in politics it gets tricky. Because a lot of people, whether they realize it or not, truly do lead, I'd say mostly, with my experience, 75% of the time, with, like, opinion. And, like, biased opinion at most.
Yep.
And the thing is, one, I think to have a political conversation in general, especially a mature one, at that, you have to, one, be willing to hear each other out and be respectful of one another, and two, be able to come to that common ground, and I think understand that being able to come to the common ground in general is necessary for picking somebody in power, and to be able to go off of their morals and their values, not just what they say they're going to do, but how they, like, you know, what they say they're for, what they stand for, like, how they live their life.
Yeah.
And it's very overlooked, because people are like, oh, I don't care, but, like, you know, it really makes or breaks the decision for me, honestly, because if you're not really about what you are advertising, and I can tell, like, I don't care how deceiving you are, like, that's why I like taking my time, because I like to really understand when I'm trying to make a decision or, like, learn about something.
Yeah, because it's important. Voting is important.
And especially, and that's why for situations like this, it is very good to think through those things, really take your time to learn, because, I mean, it's not about who you really like more. It's about whoever has the most aligned with your, like, values and your policies.
I think voting is so personal, and I think it's something that people should keep to themselves.
Yeah.
Who they're voting for, because I think
people want to talk about it too much, and they want to compare too much, and that's what I'm saying. There's that division. Why do you want to compare? Why?
It's none of anyone's business, because it's like, if, you know, I'm a gay woman, I'm going into a STEM-related career, if Trump was more aligned with me, you know, I'm not saying he is. Let's not go there. It's not. I'm saying that I should have the freedom without, you know, any backlash from anyone else to do that. I would never do that personally, but that's just my personal opinion. But, like, I should have the right to do that without any backlash from anybody else. And I think everyone is just giving their opinion too much. You know what I mean? Like, their unwanted opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Like, go back to the middle ground. Go back to see what your actual morals and, like, values are in a person and what you want in a country. That
hits.
Because...
And can I just say this? Whenever you're having a political conversation with anyone, because they're bound to happen and they're important for our democracy, try your very hardest not to come to agreements, but to come to an understanding. This country is not about agreeing with each other. And democracy was never built on agreeing with each other. This country was about understanding
coming to a common perspective. Theme, common ground. It's ridiculous.
Common ground does not mean agreeance in my head. Like, agreeance does not mean you found one policy that works for everybody.
No, that's the steps to get there, though. And if you can't make it there, you're sure as hell not.
Exactly. I think finding common ground in a political conversation is like the standard. Nirvana. You know what I mean?
It should be the standard, though, and it's not. It never is.
Nope, it's not at all. That's what I'm saying. One person has to be right, and people are constantly searching for agreeance within a conversation, where you should be searching for understanding and a common ground. You know what I mean? Like, you can't force somebody to be in agreement with you.
Right, and here's the thing. I don't blame a lot of people for, like, thinking for themselves for the most part, or thinking for just them and their family. Because, like, you ultimately do want what's best for them. But you have to realize that, like, you are a part of, like, a community, whether you like it or not, in any sense of the word. Especially when you choose to do extra, like, curricular activities outside of, like, work.
Like or, volunteering.
Like, especially if you have kids and stuff. Like, you are a part of a community, and whatever you do and the choices you make in certain ways will affect other people that you care about.
Exactly. Like, whoever you vote for, and please do not take that with any, trying to political
there's no
sway.
Implications, and I'm not going to give my opinion on, like, that either, because I don't really have political conversations much, but I am very much someone who is advocating for people to connect and have more conversations to connect, because when you really connect as humans, like, it's what makes you have all those things we talked about, understanding, respect, like, and you just get it. Like, it's like, it's someone you know. Like, imagine if this was affecting the person you care about most. Like, whatever decisions you were making that could affect other people. Imagine if those other people were people you cared about most, and, like your family or something. You would take into the utmost consideration.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think just this country as a whole needs to understand perspectives that aren't our own.
Be more optimistic, be more open-minded, be more willing to actually get together with one another and be a community. Mm-hmm. We have communities, but are we actually acting like one ever? Almost not.
Preach.
Like, and Preach I hate it. I really do hate it. That's why I like talking to people and getting them together, because in the most humble way possible, a lot of people say they like my vibe and they're glad that, like, I talk to them or whatever, and, like, we have, like, a good time, and it's a really good experience, and I want more stuff like that to happen, because I want people to really see that talking to other people or meeting strangers and, like, having a weird little conversation or interaction isn't always scary, and it's not always bad. Like,
it's
you can really
fulfilling.
Make the best out of it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it can be the most meaningful thing of your life, depending on, like, who they are or what happens. Yeah. Like, just live a little. Mm-hmm. Stop worrying so much about yourself or a small group of people. Realize that what you do affects other people around you, whether you like it or not. And you have to be very mindful. You have to be very careful. Demure. Yeah. And that's with yourself and others. Do good things for yourself so you can have a good life with others and you can really have good experiences. Like, we wouldn't have this podcast. We wouldn't have this beautiful world. We wouldn't have all the great things we do if we didn't actually work together at some point to get shit done.
If we didn't take care of what needs taken care of.
Yeah. Take care of one another. Take care of the planet. Take care of your yourself.
Shit. Take care of yourself. Drink water. Eat good food.
Get good rest.
Get good vibes. Listen to good music.
Make good vibes.
Yes.
You make the vibe of the day, so choose to make it good.
And on that note, I think we should do our top 3 songs for the week.
Okay.
Because I just remember that we were supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Did you prepare any? Because I shit didn't.
I have one in mind. Yeah. But there's 2 that I'm on the fence about. So.
Okay. Did you like know we were doing this? Like.
I did remember, yeah.
Oh, I didn't fucking. You're funny as hell.
Do you want to go then?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. So my number 1 for the week, my top song, is Imperfect for You by Ariana Grande. I actually just posted a picture on my Instagram story.
It is so good. It.
And specifically the acoustic version. I fucking love Ariana Grande's new album, and I think it's beautiful, and it speaks volumes if you really listen.
Ariana Grande is good. She's not my favorite, though.
She's definitely not, like, she's not even in my, like, top 3, to be honest.
Damn!
She's someone I appreciate. No, like, I listen to, like, a lot of artists. I'm very diverse in the way I choose to listen to music, but I love her. And, honestly, song 2 of the week would probably be How to Disappear by Lana Del Rey. Oh. Yeah. That song, I think, is self-explanatory if you've heard it. And if not, go take a listen to How to Disappear by Lana Del Rey.
Listen to all of Lana Del Rey, actually. Don't skip one song.
Yeah, no skips, actually, on Norman fucking Rockwell.
Fuck that fucking album!
Yeah, okay. Third song, kind of a little off the cuff with the vibe.
Go ahead. For context, Off the Cuff was going to be the name of this podcast. However, there's like 19 Off the Cuff podcasts on Spotify, so.
Yes, we wanted to be different.
So we went a Gwen Stefani route.
Actually, I don't know who she is, but she might like this for some reason. Not a reason that I would know, though.
Okay, girl.
Yeah, my third song and final song is Disaster by Conan Gray, because I love that man so much, and I don't know.
Isn't that a really sad song?
No, that one's like more of a bump.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's more upbeat, but he is, like, talking about some bad stuff. But, I mean...
really deep topics.
I like the vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, what are yours, girl?
Okay. So I'm gonna go from 3 to 1.
Oh, wait, can I do an honorable mention?
Go ahead. Please, because I'm still choosing.
My honorable mention, in a very, very last song, by the way, is Hiss by Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, God, that song.
Because I love her so bad, and she's...
And Megan Thee Stallion is so smart.
She's, like... fucking succeeding right now. Like, she is hitting that shit. Good for her.
Okay, I think I have my choice.
Right, let's hear it.
So number 3 is gonna be Genesis by Ray. Did you listen yet?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, Ray is that, like, Ray is the escapism artist, but she is a great artist. Like, she has so many songs that sound very similar and so many songs that don't sound very similar to
Yeah, she has a very specific, like,
R&B
kind of style, and
like,
I like
indie.
it.
It's very like feminine in a way. It makes me feel good to be a woman.
To be woman.
No, it does. Seriously, like just a heartbroken bitch.
It was just the way you said it.
Good in the back of a nightclub sipping champagne, like that. Like I would never wear a dress. I would never go to a club personally, but like, sure, why not? Anyways, number 2 is probably gonna be. Oh, God. I think it's going to be Hollywood Sex Tape by Henry Morris. I sent that to you.
Henry Morris, I discovered him on my way home from AmeriCorps. Such a good artist.
He is such a good artist. He's such a unique sound. And this song is fun. It's about...
Are there nightclubs in heaven? You need to listen to that one.
I did, babe.
Oh, so
you sent it to me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Aw.
But, this guy... This is, like, the first time I've heard a man genuinely express, like, a female opinion. Like... This song is literally about, like, you know, somebody who, in a position of power in Hollywood, like, taking advantage of a young woman, you know what I mean, and, like, using her body for, you know, exploiting her to get her places. And, like, it's just very close to home that a man would write something like that. Like, I don't know. It's just very admirable.
I get it.
And then my top song of the week is Mariner's Apartment Complex by Lana Del Rey. Because oh my God, that song makes me... No, you're fine. No, you don't have to sing it.
Sorry.
That song makes me want to take my whole face and rip it off. It makes me so
I want to go through the windshield in slow motion. Like
swear in like a movie.
Yes.
Oh my God, that song makes me so sad.
Could you imagine?
Like...
with that song. You're flying.
They took my kindness.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about. Glass right next to me. Just...
I fucked up and knew. Okay, and my honorable mention, because I just saw him in concert, Freaks and Geeks by Childish Gambino.
Yes, eat it up.
Because it's so Bonfire coded, but it's not Bonfire, thank God. Because that song gets old. But, fucking Childish Gambino was amazing in concert. Please go see him. Anyways, our segment of that is done, which means we are done. And
yeah, almost 10 o'clock.
We did not fucking plan a topic for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed.
Well, we did, but we didn't.
We didn't follow it at all. Yeah. And I think that was good.
Yeah, so that was the right choice.
If you're a friend and you end up listening to this podcast, at least, for a good bit, please just, send a message saying if you like this style more. Like this off-the-cuff type vibe.
Not the... Oh, that's so fucking funny.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation, even though it was a little bit fucking all over the place. Stay
blessed. Do the best you can, man.
Drink water. Be mindful of other people. Go vote. Go register to vote, please. Share your voice.
Be mindful of yourself, too,
Yeah, and be aware of different perspectives in life, and be aware that where you are now is not where you're going to be in probably a week. So just take everything with a grain of salt.
And, if you need to, you can listen to that a few times, because that was a lot.
For sure. But make sure you do all of those things, because
they are good for you.
They are. So just don't miss any of those.
And you will, this is a fact, you will get better from anything if you do that.
We're going to get flagged for, misleading content. Okay, anyways, guys, this was the Sweet Escape Podcast, episode 2.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. This one was very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Next
I hope
time
we have
will
more
be a bit
conversations
different.
like this.
But we will definitely, go a bit more...
Next time we're going to talk about our blood rotation. We should do that for real.
God.
What
did we just say before this episode was recorded?
What did we say?
About being maybe we should be more friendly. More No, we're going to talk about our blood rotation next time.
I would. We'll talk about this off camera. This was the Sweet Escape Podcast, episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. Fucking, we have to record an intro, you dickbag. Outro.
Alright.
This is the Sweet Escape Podcast, episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drink water.
Yeah.
And be great. And please come back for episode 3. It's probably going to be a fucking whirlwind.
Yeah, they all will be.
Please come back, dropping Sunday 9 a.m. as they typically do.
Yeah.
So...
do your best, Have a good time. Good night, good morning, wherever you are.
Yeah, make sure you listen before church on Sunday, 9 a.m.
Yeah, if you need to add a little spice, if you want to pregame church with a good podcast, listen to us.
If you want to cancel out all the,
if you want to day binge a podcast, listen to us
on a Sunday and clean your entire room, or maybe just sit and fucking rot, because I feel like that's more the vibe of what this podcast gives.
Well, like we said, no brain rot. Don't rot. Sit.
Like we said last episode. Good job, babe.
Yeah, sit after being productive for a bit. After doing something you wanted to do. Or if you've been doing a lot that week, then it's okay to chill,
Why can't we just end a fucking episode? We always have to get... This was the Sweet Escape Podcast, episode 2. Absolutely good night. Goodbye. Be here next week, or be...
Be square!
Or be square. Alright. Goodbye, everyone.